What's cooking, Bianconeri? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. We think that the news will slow down, but it's not. It just keeps coming full force every single day. We thought that, the Mercado ended back in the summer, but guess what? We're already talking about the next Mercado, and there's a lot more rumors that are starting to gain some traction and ground when it comes to their future and potential for Juventus. Some of those names, we have a lot more sprinkled in, but trust me, but some of the names that might interest you are Tchouameni, Vlahovic, and guess what? A second goalkeeper. Padin might be out, and that means some new guys are coming in. We'll run down that for you now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back. You're in the Bianconeri zone. My name is Justin Sofro, and today is Thursday, October 7th, 2021. Of course, I've got your latest rundown of all things Juventus. Before we do anything, and we're going to just jump into it in just a sec, but before we do anything, make sure if you're new here, smash that subscribe button, join the community that we're establishing here at the Bianconeri zone, as well as hit that like button. Helping hit that like button really helps our channel grow and really helps us with the algorithm. May not make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but you hitting that like button makes a huge difference for us and what we do here. That way we can bring you more content down the line. Let's just get started. What do we have here in the news today? Well, first off, we're talking about Bonucci. This is Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting that Bonucci has left the Azzurri squad following his red card that he received in the match yesterday against Spain. He'll train with the group at Catanassa. So some positives out of a negative. Fortunately, the Spain match did not go as a lot of Italian fans would prefer, though maybe it went how the Milan fans would go, who completely made asses of themselves, booing Donnarumma every time he got the ball. Maybe this is a little bit about Donnarumma's headspace. He is a Milan fan. At least he was a Milan fan. We'll see if it still is the case. But I think it maybe did rattle him a little bit in that match. But no offense, if you're a Milan fan, if you say you're an Azzurri fan, and then you're out there booing him, you're an ass, and you're making yourself look like an ass. It was embarrassing, just an embarrassing spectacle from the Milan fans. Back to what I was trying to say, though. Overall, though, some positives out of the negative is honestly that Bonucci's coming back. He can train, recover, whatever have you, with Juventus, and then we don't have to worry about more guys being used because, like, the entire Juventus Azzurri squad were used yesterday in that match and risked injury to every single one of them. Chiellini, Chiesa, Bonucci, Keane, Bernardeschi, all of them were out there and got time and could have been injured. So probably good that Bonucci's coming back as it is. Speaking about games that don't matter, it would be Juventus will be playing a friendly game this Saturday, and that'll be against Alessandria, was announced. So that'll be more minutes for Artur and for Kyle George to get more time, more reps with the squad. Will be cool to see how they do. I'm sure we won't get to see any of it, but will be neat to see, to hear reports about how they performed and what all happened there. But just so you know, Alessandria this Saturday, Juventus will be playing a friendly. Let's go on to the next. And this is the bigger, not the biggest topic, but a bigger topic overall, because we talked about it a little bit during the summer. But now we're back talking about it again, as Tutto Sports reporting that basically they're going to have to replace Mattia Padin again in the next summer Mercado, as it appears he's going to be on the move. He doesn't want to be he's going to leave on a free. This is his last year, and he will definitely want to leave because he doesn't want to be a backup goalkeeper. He doesn't want to be a backup to Szczesny. He wants to be the starter. But they're reporting that David Ospina, Salvatore Sirigu, whatever I said, and Andrea Concini are the names to replace Mattia Padin, who will leave the club on a free this summer. Be interested in names. Obviously, we know Ospina and Sirigu, a little bit of Concini. Let me know what of those names really attracts you. I wanted Sirigu, but I think he also wants to start, so I wonder if that one will still fall through. I imagine it would be the same thing with Ospina. Let me know your thoughts on those, and then with the Concedi, we'll see what happens there. Let me know what your thoughts are. Of those three, which ones really get you interested, and ones that would hype you up for you and just to bring in, especially since we're not getting Donnarumma, guys. Let's move on. We've got some Kyle George news, and that's Romeo Agresti is reporting the feedback I have on Kyle George is very positive. He has worked tremendously to recover from his injury, so it looks like Kyle George is working as hard as he can to join the squad, to actually join the squad in a meaningful match. He got a little bit of playing time there at the end of the Torino match. He looked pretty good. He definitely could have connected there with an assist to Kulusevski. Unfortunately, Kulusevski wasn't able to finish that, but some interesting activity there. Hopefully this will continue, and hopefully it will continue to develop, and maybe he'll be a meaningful member of the squad going forward, maybe at some point at the end of the season even. Let's move on. Now we can go to Vlahovic and the big guy, the guy we're all interested in for the future. And this is Tutto Sport who's reporting this, and they're saying, Tutto Sport, take him for what it's worth. But Tutto Sport's been better as of the last couple of years than it has in the past, to be honest. But they're saying that for January, the names to reinforce the attack are both Vlahovic and Icardi. Both players could be on the move this January. This is where I want to comment a little bit on it. I'd be surprised. I think, to me, I'll be honest, I think Icardi's done. I think, and when I say done, I don't mean a done deal to Juventus. I mean, I think it's done. I don't think it's actually going to happen to Juventus. I think their big move was when they moved, quote unquote, moved for him during this last summer mercado at the very end. Ronaldo botched that for Juventus, really screwing the club over there at the end with what they could have done. But as it stands, it's a name that'll get floated out there. I just don't see it happening, to be honest. Vlahovic, though. If Vlahovic could somehow move in January, I'd be thanking everybody. I'd say, please make it happen. If you bring in a guy like Vlahovic, he can make a difference and do wonders for the club and the season immediately. So I'd be interested in bringing that in. I'm skeptical, though, with Tutto Sports' report on this, just because I don't know if I truly believe that Vlahovic will be going anywhere until the summer. I think the summer is when the real actions will happen. And that brings us to the next little bit of news that we have. And that is Corriere Fiorentino is reporting, saying that basically that Fiorentina wants money. Rocco Commisso has no intention of accepting a very deferred payment for Vlahovic. There will be no Chiesa-like deal. Juve will try in the summer anyway, but Fiorentina wants $75 million cash. Now, this is where things get interesting, because overall, obviously, they're going to throw this out there. I think the same similar stuff happened with Sassuolo. They want cash, they want whatever. You're going to hear these reports. I'm not going to say they're nonsense, but no offense. When the cards are stacked against you, you have to accept what you can get. And this may be one of those situations where overall, since he's not renewing, since Vlahovic has made it known that he does not want to be at Fiorentina anymore, that he's ready to move on to another club, potentially Juventus, potentially somewhere else, this is where it'll depend. Because if you can get a similar situation like with Locatelli, where Locatelli said, I want Juve, and I only want Juve, that's where the difference can be made. Because you saw what it did. You saw the deal that Cherubini worked out with Sassuolo. It happened very late at the very end, but the deal that he had was magnificent for the club, for Locatelli, for everybody in the deal. 2 years free. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to tell you how it went. But overall, what I will say will be interesting to follow here is that they say this. We'll see what happens in the end. But it's also, I want to know the news of who is Vlahovic wanting to go to. Because if Vlahovic instead wants to end up going to an Atletico, a Premier League club or whatever have you, that hurts Juventus in the end. And that'll make it more difficult for Juventus to sign him. But if he only wants Juve, I'd ignore that they don't want to do a Chiesa-like deal, because then they'll be forced to, as you know. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. We'll see what happens. If he moves in January, I'm still reluctant to believe that's going to happen. But we can all dream, right? Next, we can move on to the next big name, and that's Tchouameni, who is the future potentially target for the midfield for Juventus. Romeo Agresti is confirming that Tchouameni is very much liked by Juventus. The problem is that there's a lot of competition. Juve is concretely following the Frenchman's progress. He's the player the Bianconeri like the most, so he definitely seems to be the top option for the midfield to help bolster that a little bit in the future. Seems the dreams of Pogba and stuff like that are long gone at this point. Now we're looking at names like Tchouameni. We'll see what he can do for the future. We'll see what he can become, how he can develop there. I would be interested to see if a potential move could be made in January. It seems like it's more likely going to be the summer with a lot of them. But if a move could be made in January, it would be interesting. Would definitely like to help bolster the midfield, especially if you're not going to end up getting a bigger name than even Tchouameni. But anyway, just something to keep an eye on. It appears that Juventus will definitely make a move for him at some point. We'll see what happens in the end. And then a final little bit of, I don't want to say fun news, but some laughable news, humorous news, if you will. It's a little bit Aaron Ramsey news. And that's Gazzetta dello Sport who's reporting basically that Aaron Ramsey is and his agent are getting paid for not playing games. So Ramsey's agent received an additional 2.8 million euros this summer because Ramsey did not move. He didn't go anywhere. And that this was agreed in the contract the day Aaron was signed with the club. So it helped definitely with his agent. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. There's not a lot to really go off of with this, but it's just kind of humorous because he's not playing. He's not doing anything. He's not bringing anything to the club. A lot of the reasons he's not playing, he's injured. But even when he does play, you count it. Yeah. Anyway, just kind of humorous. 2.8 million euros for fun. There you go. Have it. Juventus is throwing it away, basically. But anyway, that's the latest news that we really have for you regarding Juventus, all things that we're talking about. Vlahovic, when he moved, Tchouameni, what's going to happen there. Kyle George is looking good, and then what will happen with that second goalkeeper. If you have any questions, any thoughts, comments, leave it in the comment section down below. Would love to hear your all's opinions there, as well as anything else that you may have thoughts on considering things with Juventus. Anyway, but I appreciate you guys. Make sure you please hit that like button. It really does help us with the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Please join our community, and let us know if you're newly joined. Let us know in the comment section down below, so that way we can greet you in the proper way. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter, and make sure you follow Julian Genotti at Genotti at 151 on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.